Let me introduce you to the adult male crusaders on this trip. From left to right, we have Austin, Steve, Daryl, which is the Adventure Crusader, and we have Bryson to the far right. The first night, Steve and I were meeting Bryson and Austin at Manatee Springs State Park. Steve came over from Jacksonville to Ocala, and from Ocala, he and I caravanned to Chiefland to meet up with Bryson, Austin, and Austin's kids. The night was cold, so we decided just to put the outer room onto the canopy. In the morning, after having breakfast and collecting our camping goods, we decided to go to the main spring head to see if we can find some manatee. Once we got to the main parking area where the head spring is, we decided to go down the boardwalk to see if we can see any manatees. The boardwalk is picturesque and it goes out to the river, where we did luckily see some manatees milling around in the river. As we worked our way back up the boardwalk, we were lucky enough to see a couple more manatees partway up the river heading to the head springs where the warmer water is. The boardwalk is very picturesque along the river. The river and Manatee Springs has all kinds of activities, from scuba diving to canoeing to kayaking to swimming, camping, bicycling, hiking, and whatever else you can think of, even bird watching. If you're in the Chiefland area, make sure you stop by Manatee Springs State Park. Since we got out of Manatee Springs State Park later than we wanted to, and for the purpose of time, we bypassed some of the Florida Adventure Trail so we can make it to the Big Bend Wildlife Management Area. The Big Bend Wildlife Management Area consists of 5 units spanning 60 miles of coastline and 90,000 acres. Managed by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission, or FWC, the area is open to hunting, fishing, hiking, and a variety of other recreational uses. The 5 units are from north to south, which include Snipes Island, Hickory Mound, Spring Creek, Tide Swamp, and Jenna, extending roughly from just south of Ecofina River State Park to Horseshoe Beach south of Steinhatchee River. Hikers and off-road bikers will find over 300 miles of roads, old logging trams, and trails to explore. One of the beauties of this area is a concrete causeway which was built through the salt marsh of the park. From one of those photos, which was an observation tower, just in the horizon, you actually can see the Gulf of Mexico. The saltwater marsh is excellent for sea kayaking, and sea kayakers actually can get permits to primitively camp through the different salt marshes. The causeway gives you great photo opportunities, whether you're driving with a group of friends to line up your vehicles, or to stop along the way at the picnic tables and have a lunch, or go to the observation tower and take excellent 360-degree views of the salt marsh. You'll notice in the pictures that the vehicles have the Sasquatch Research Team magnets on the doors. There's a story behind this, but let's just say we'll say that for another day. But the funny part was, as we were filling up for gas in one of the small towns, a gentleman came up and was asking about our research and was talking about how he believes that the aliens have taken Sasquatch. We promptly informed him that we saw some down at Manatee Springs State Park and he might want to go down and take a look for him. We made our way out of Big Bend Wildlife Management Area and headed towards Apalachicola National Forest. Due to time and wanting to get to a particular location before it got dark, we bypassed Tate's Hell State Forest, which is located around Carabel. We attempted to find several campsites within Apalachicola National Forest, but due to hunting season and the abundance of hunters already dominating the different campsites, we made our way to a scenic location for the night. If you want to know the exact location of this scenic place that we stayed at, you'll have to go to Sunshine State Adventure Company and purchase the GPX files for the Florida Adventure Trail. Apalachicola National Forest is the largest U.S. national forest in the state of Florida. It encompasses 632,890 acres, or 988.89 square miles, and is the only national forest located in the Florida Panhandle. We made it to our scenic location just prior to nightfall. Once at the campsite, there was zero light pollution and the sky and stars were crystal clear. At one point, we were talking about how clear the sky was and we were looking into the stars, and we saw the International Space Station gliding through the stars. Usually, we need an app to find out where the International Space Station is while we're at home. Once the sun fell down over the horizon, temperatures dropped, and they dropped rapid. It got down into the 20s for the night, but we tried to stay warm around the fire. We were all looking forward to dinner because Steve always makes his famous steak, baked potatoes, and corn for dinner. Corn was out of season at this particular time, so we had canned corn, which he seasoned up just as excellent as if it was on the cob. Austin made cheesesteaks for Nat and AJ. Thankfully, there were plenty of leftovers since Austin had steak also. He shared the leftover cheesesteaks with Bryce and Steve and myself, and I have to tell you, they were excellent. We expect Austin to make these at every camp. After everyone woke up in the morning, we had breakfast, took our time getting things together, and prior to leaving, I actually paid Natty and AJ to go around the campsite and pick up any rubbish and debris and garbage that they may have seen around the campsite. That was due to more than likely the locals drinking their beer and throwing their bottles all throughout the woods. And I must say, they did an excellent job and collected a full shopping bag full of garbage. The water gave off an eerie steam. It almost seemed as if it was a ghostly presence keeping an eye on us, but I knew it was because the water was warmer than the air temperature. As you notice, the bridge is a wooden bridge that crosses the little river area, and the construction of it was quite amazing. If you notice, the wooden planks are laid side by side, standing upright, and there's long metal pins that hold the different sections of wood together. This gave the bridge the strength that it needed to hold whatever load the wood carts were carrying. Prior to leaving, we took a few more photos of the scenic area with our vehicle staged next to the water. And at one point, Natty even drove the truck. Not really, we just made it look that way. And of course, there's the Crusaders standing next to the picturesque water.
Big water.
As we made our way out of Appalachian National Forest, we encountered some deep water, tight trails, and some mud. As we went down south on Route 65, there's a point of interest called Prospect Bluff, or known as Fort Gadsden or the African Fort. If you're in the history, definitely research those. It's quite an amazing story and a sad story at the same time. After getting gas and Carabelle and scratch-off tickets for the lottery, we made our way to Bald Point State Park, and once we were finished having some lunch at Bald Point State Park, we said our goodbyes, and Steve went back to Jacksonville, and Austin and Bryson went back towards the High Springs area, and I drove back to Ocala, as you can tell, to clean my truck. I hope you enjoyed the first full video from the Adventure Crusader. Not only did I enjoy the trip, but also the video editing process. My pledge to you is that I will evolve and be a better videographer and editor to bring you quality content for the future. If you could, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. It's a brand new channel, so I can use all the support I can. Tell your friends and coworkers and anybody else you may think will be interested in my crusade for adventure. Take care, Crusaders, and I hope to see you out on an adventure.